welcome back. My name is Addie Gunnan of Well Loved Clothing. I am in my kitchen. By now you should know what that means. It's been a month, which means it's time for a new thrift flip. And I am very excited about this one because today's video is kicking off the month of thrift flips. I am so excited. I love thrift flips. Oh, I'm also wearing a thrift flip. That's pretty fun. We will be taking those not so wearable thrifted clothes and making them so wearable, so cute, and I have tons of ideas, which is why we're doing a month of thrift flips. At the end of this month, July 15th, Well Loved Wednesday, 2 days after my birthday, I will be doing a thrift flip drop on my website. So you will be able to buy all of the pieces that you're seeing in the next month and some that you didn't see here that are still flipped by me. Today's is very fun. While I have my sewing machine right here, it is not going to be my most used tool today. As you could probably tell by the non-discreet YouTube title, we are going to be using these tools to tie-dye. I am so pumped. I love a good tie-dye piece, and I think it's so fun that it's in right now. 90s nod to 70s nod to all of the fun summer camp kind of things, but in such cool ways. So I will be using dye and bottles, rubber bands, and a big old thing of bleach. Whoa, I'm dropping everything. To make all of those looks come to life from my thrifted pieces that I want to flip. I will still be sewing bits and pieces because they are pieces that aren't quite great that we're going to make amazing with all of this tie-dye. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm not sure which piece I want to start with first. They're all so cute. So we are gonna kick it off with this first piece here. Let me grab from my pile of things. Oh gosh, they're all in hangers again. Why do I do that? This is a muumuu-esque dress from Goodwill. It's longer, and I did actually already crop it off the bottom, so it was a lot longer than this. The fabric is nice and heavy, so I think it's gonna bleach dye really well. But what really drew me in with this is the color. This beautiful orange color is amazing. So I think this is gonna be a really cool statement dress. My ideas for this one come from this sort of vibe, just this very cool tie-dyed statement dress. This one will be a little more casual, which is gonna be really great for everyday wear. Oh, I just had a really cool idea though. Okay, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna bleach it first so we can see what we like about it, and then it might turn into a two-piece because that's just what we do here at Well Loved Thrift Flips. So I am really excited to get started with this one, so let's do it.
Even though we're not sure where this is going to end up, we're going to go ahead and tie-dye it so that we have that piece and maybe it'll inspire us to more. So I'm laying it flat and then I'm scrunching up all of this dress. It was so much fabric to scrunch up. And then I'm taking all my rubber bands and just making it into basically like a patty. I don't know if that's a weird word, but we're making it a patty so that I can bleach it. The main thing I focused on here is making sure that none of the big pieces were folded over the top because I didn't want a lot of bleach concentrated in one area. I wanted that milk paint effect. Once I finished scrunching and rubber banding, I took it over to the sink where I'm making my bleach concoction, which is 1 part bleach and 1 part water. I've done it full bleach before and it just deteriorated the whole thing. I'm drenching the dress now because I should have gotten it wet beforehand but forgot, and so here we are. This is gonna help the bleach do its thing. This is about to get real messy. So I don't actually have gloves, but I do have a lot of gift bags for food things. So I took some rubber bands and we're gonna reuse those in a very strange way as gloves. So gloved up, I am taking my bleach and staring at this dress because I had no idea where to start. Once I gained the confidence to finally spray this thing with bleach, I sort of just put it wherever I wanted. I had no rhyme or reason. It was just fun to kind of mess around and see what I could come up with. I just finished squeezing the bleach onto this orange dress, and I'm already liking some of this lightened color. I kind of oversaturated it because I want it to get really deep in there. Let me put on my little glove situation here. It's like 3 inches thick right now. Right here, it's getting a little lighter. I am really excited to see how this one goes. Yay! Oh, I love tie-dye. After After about 10-15 minutes, it started to really look like the color that I wanted it to be. I don't want it to be completely white. I like the orange, lighter and darker feel. So I took out all the rubber bands, and soap is really the only thing that's gonna stop this bleach from reacting. So in order for it to not turn any lighter, I gotta toss it in my washer. After waiting what felt like an eternity, I finally got to see this adorable tie-dye. I hung it to dry overnight, tried it on, and was hit with some really good inspiration.
Now that this tie-dye is so good, I want the style to match the fun of the tie-dye. So I'm gonna chop it up and see what I can come up with, and hopefully it is amazing because I have some really good ideas. Let's take a little tie-dye break and get to sewing.
I started where we always start, pinning where I wanted that neckline to hit, and then I wanted it to be a V-neck and sleeveless, so this was my first iteration of the idea. So I chopped off those bits, sleeve, neckline, yes, and then realized that I actually wanted to go the extra mile with it and make it a little bit more square neck because I love a square neck. So I chopped off the neckline that I made to make it look somewhat strapless so we could add straps. Folded it over to make sure it matched and moved to the sewing machine. And we know this first stitch is always going to be that zigzag stitch to make sure that the edge does not fray and to make a proper hem. Once I had that zigzag hem done, I'm going around and pinning it down, but then I realized I didn't want to do that to the whole thing, and so I just decided to sew it. So we'll see how this turns out. I think it turned out pretty dang good. You'll see soon. I am sewing all the way around this upper part, folding over one time to make the inside casing, and then I'm gonna sew around a double fold just to make a really nice solid hem. It's especially good to do this on really stretchy fabric because then it gives it a little more form to hold up that upper part. To make the straps, I'm taking the part that I cut from the top straps and just creating thick 1-inch straps. So I'm cutting off the excess fabric of one side, folding it over, doing the other so it's a straight square strap, and then I'm putting it on top of the other one to make sure that they match up perfectly. And once I have the top pieces cut, I am taking some extra fabric, thank goodness I had some muslin in my house, and making a backing for these straps. So this is going to help it to be more structurally sound, so it'll actually hold up the dress since it is such stretchy fabric, but it'll also give it a little something to keep it flatter and make a tube so it's a nice finished strap. So I pinned it together, sewed down both sides, and then flipped it inside out, and voila, a strap! Now to attach the straps. So I pinned this to my bra in order for it to stay up while I was trying to pin the straps on. I had already done the back. I like to do that first because then the front is just a lot easier to accomplish. So here I am pinning the strap down where I think it should go. I also decided to take it in on the sides where it's doing that little cupcake situation. And so I pinned that down, and then I took it to the sewing machine to attach the straps and take it in with a simple stitch down the side of the bust. And then to attach the straps, I just did a double stitch across the top. And this little number is done!
How cute did this one turn out? I love the tie-dye on this. So cool with the bleached effect. I was a little skeptical about how I was gonna do this whole top situation because it is very difficult to sew this stretchy fabric, but we got through it. It turned out very cute. A nod to that baby doll style dress. The length of it makes it so cute. I am loving this one. On to the next. Piece number 2 is making a lot of noise down there. Piece number 2 is something that you have already seen, but I wanted to tie-dye it in my last thrift flip and wasn't quite sure how to go about it. It is inspired by this sort of look. The really cool, bright, light, flowy 2-piece that I am obsessed with, but it is this. Oh, it's on the hanger. This adorable 2-piece set that we made in my last thrift flip, the raw edges and the elastic waist, it's really just a great 2-piece, which is why I made it a 2-piece in the first place. It's that gauzy, white, gorgeous, flowy flip that I am in love with, but I think I would love it even more if it had a little bit of color, a little bit more wow. Instead of just doing a bunch of bleach dyeing, I wanted to use this amazing orange dye color. I am so excited for this to be orange. I'm not really sure the design that I'm going after. More milk painted rather than like the swirl. I have my little trusty bottle that I'm gonna use on it. I'm so pumped about this one. Let's get started.
I am so thankful for this giant sink in my kitchen because I don't know how I would do this project otherwise. So I'm soaking this white two-piece because the dye needs the fabric to be wet, but then I'm wringing it out because it will bleed if I don't wring it out. Getting the water nice and warm and shaking up my dye bottle so that I can make a little concoction that will dye my fabric. Is this not the cutest color? I'm so excited. So I am mixing 2 tablespoons of this dye with 2 cups of hot water, and the color was scaring me. It was really red, kind of looked like blood. Oh, gross, no. I poured it into a measuring cup like I should have had it all along, and then poured it again into my squirt bottle, only to realize that I missed a step of putting salt into the dye, and so I had to pour that out and then mix the salt in and then pour it back into the bottle so we can start our tie-dye now, finally. Which means it is scrunch time. So getting my rubber bands and my piece, laying it out flat, and then squishing it up again the same way that I did on the orange dress, and then rubber banding around in the same way to not leave any big chunks but have a lot of little chunks so the dye is dispersed well. Did the same with the top, and look how cute this tiny ball of tie-dye fabric is. I set it on a baking rack over a pan. Still not really sure why I used the pan, but whatever, we'll move on. So I started to spray the orange in spots that I thought it would look really cool, and I saturated this once again really deep because the bottom was pretty thick and I wanted that orange to be a nice bright color. So it's looking really dark and I'm getting really excited, and I went a little dye happy, so I had to refill my bottle, put it on the shirt, and then flipped both of them over to do the bottom of it. The key point to this was to keep some white in it. That's what's really going to give us that stark contrast between the 2 oranges. So I tried to keep as much white as I could, but I love this orange so much, it was so hard. And Google told me to let it sit for 30 minutes and then put some dye saver stuff on it, and so I'm rinsing out my bottle to use it again to put on the dye saver. Well, I guess it's called dye fixative, as you can see here, but it is 2 tablespoons to 1 cup of water, and so I went ahead and made it in the bottle. And with some movie magic, the 30 minutes is up, so we spray it liberally, as Google said once again, to the fabric that has the dye on it, and I went ballistic with this stuff. It's okay though, because it's important to really saturate the fabric with the dye fixative, because that's what's going to keep that high contrast. This is where it gets weird. I was looking up RIT videos and how to dye with it, and it told me to put it in plastic wrap and then into the microwave for 2 minutes to set the fabric. So it makes sense because it's heat setting the dye, but it's just kind of weird. So once it was done, I took it out and started to unwrap it and take off all the rubber bands, and I was getting so excited. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this color. Oh, I am obsessed. This is probably going to be my new favorite thing. Oh, so cute. So to finish this out, I rinsed it under cold water until the water ran clear, and then tossed it in the wash, hung it to dry overnight, and holy cow, look at it.
This one, oh my gosh, turned out so good. I have like a 3/4 of that bottle left, and I might honestly just dye everything in my closet this way. Obsessed with it. It turned out so good. Just the saturation of it. It almost looks like acid washi. Such a happy color. Elevated this piece from that simple white kind of ethereal look to a more statement, really cool look. So happy. And I am just plain loving it. So good. Oh. Ooh, this next one I am so excited for. I am obsessed. So this is the look that I'm going for. It is denim. I love bleaching some denim. I used to bleach and paint denim like nobody's business. So I'm excited to kind of get back to my roots with it. I am going after this amazing painted denim kind of feel, but using bleach for it. So this is a pair of amazing jeans from Ghani, and I am obsessed with these. I think it is such a cool idea. Plays on that tie-dye trend, but they're not like camp t-shirt tie-dye. So we are going after this today, but we're going to take it another step and use a set. So no, this is not a set right now. This is a pair of jeans that I thrifted and a jacket that I thrifted. The jeans are just perfect denim, high-waisted vintage jeans. And the shirt is more of a jacket right now. One of my favorite parts about this are those cute little pockets and these silver buttons. And luckily it already fits me. So we are going to take this an extra level by making it into a spiral painted bleach denim set. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So my plan for this set is to take this this jacket and bleach the whole thing, make more of a shirt than a jacket. After that is all done, I am going to just see what I can do with a paintbrush and a little buddy here. So I cannot wait. So let's get started with this denim set.
Here we are again, where it all starts, pinning that hem to see where I want to chop it. So I'm gonna leave these edges really raw, but first I need to lay this flat and cut off the bottom, and then cut off the sleeves. And of course this thick denim was quite difficult to cut, but we did it in the name of fashion, people. Once I had that cut, I wanted to bleach the whole thing, so I used 3 parts water to 3 parts bleach. Mixed it on up, got the top very wet so it would absorb that bleach quicker, and soaked the top in the bleach bucket. To ensure that it was an even fade on the whole shirt, I put on my trusty gloves and soaked it, squeezed it, squished it, whatever you want to call this, to ensure the bleach was soaking in on every section of the shirt. Of course I had to time lapse it because I thought it was the coolest thing ever, so just look at it get lighter. Oh, so cool. Once it was about the shade I wanted it to be, I dumped out the excess bleach, rinsed it with cold water, popped it in my washer with a damp towel to stop the bleaching, and after a quick gentle cycle she was done. That's the shirt. That's the shirt. Those are the jeans over there, and I tried really hard to make them the same color, and they're totally not the same color, but you know what? We're just gonna do it because I think it'll be cool. Continuing on to the most fun part of this journey, I'm mixing 1 part bleach and 1 part water to make basically a bleach paint so that I can put this really cool design on these jeans. I also had to lay out some trash bags because I don't have a drop cloth for paint, so I'm using what I have in my house. And they're Porter approved, so that's really all that matters here. He loves a good DIY. Oh, he's so cute. Once I had these laid out flat, I got my bleach paint and a paintbrush, and honestly just went to town. Started painting these things with bleach and used a string to mark the first few that didn't get light yet. But as I went along, the pieces started to bleach. Oh gosh, this is so cool. And I didn't need the string anymore. I was following the basic design of the Ghani jeans, but I wanted to still make them my own, so I started to just put some lines and dots everywhere and have fun with it. So I flipped them over to match the backs to the front with those side dots, and then just started matching the lines to each other. It took about 10 minutes on either side for the bleach to fully develop, and we're headed to the wash one more time to finish this amazing piece. And it's done!
Holy cow! I seriously am going to do so many things to all of my clothes now with bleach and dye because I am obsessed with every single one. Just look at it! I am so happy with how these jeans turned out. They're even a little bit more like psychedelic-y maybe than the Ghani ones are, but I kind of like it. Nod to that grunge, but such a perfect look for that bleach dye jean. So I love these painted jeans. Totally understand that these did not come out the same color, but I'm kind of loving it because this light denim up here pulls from the light denim in these jeans. And I put the stripe across the top so they go together but don't match. So it's not all one tone, it's just very like mix and matchy, funky. Loving this set. Oh my gosh. Well, my bottle of bleach is empty and my hands are covered in dye. So that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I love these thrift flips. Join me again next week for another super fun idea for a thrift flip. And mark your calendars for July 15 when all of these amazing pieces drop on the website. Let me know which thrift flip was your favorite. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see y'all next week. You are well loved. Bye.